What's up, everybody? Clark Spalding and Joe Palmieri here with Home Fit Personal Training. We're going to be kicking off our YouTube series with this video, a quick at-home flexibility routine that you can do anytime. Should take about 10 minutes. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right, so starting off...
Thank you, Snake.
No, I'm going to cue you. All right, so starting off our flexibility routine, you want to always start off with a little dynamic stretch and get the heart rate warmed up. So Joe here is going to run through a couple Sun Salutations. We're going to do 3 of them to start the workout. That's the word, workout.
Workout.
So he's going to start off standing. You're going to fold forward into a hamstring stretch. You can keep your back straight or round it out here. Hands go down. You can either walk the hands out, walk the feet out, or hop the feet back. Now from here, the easier version, if you need to do that, is going to be you're going to drop your hips straight into an up dog or cobra position, and from there you'll kick your hips back and up into a down dog position. Okay, now while you're doing this, you want to try to really straighten that lumbar out as much as you possibly can. Drive your chest through towards your feet. Okay, from there you'll come back into a plank, hop the feet in, and then stand up. So that would be one Sun Salutation. We're going to do 2 more of those. Second one, we're going to show you a little more advanced. You're going to fold forward, hands down to the ground, hop or step back into a plank. Now for the more advanced version, you're going to drop into a push-up before you swoop through into the up dog. Then, from there, push back into down dog. Okay? Back to plank, hop in, and stand up. So that would be 2. We're going to go through 1 more of those. One more of those. Whichever version you need to do is fine. So fold forward, hands down, hop back or step back, whichever. Down into up dog, whether you just drop into it or going through the push-up, either one is fine. And then back into down dog. 1 more time, hang out there for just a second. Back to plank. And then hop in and stand up. All right, so starting off the next set, we have runner's pose. You're going to be starting in a plank. You're going to step 1 foot up to the side. You want to get that foot as close to the hand as you possibly can there. You can see Joe's foot is right beside his hand. Now, Joe, go ahead and step back. I'm going to show you what to do if your foot gets stuck. Joe, go ahead and step back. So if you were to step up and your foot got stuck about halfway, what you would do is take that same side hand, grab the foot, and pull it up. Boom, problem solved. Okay, now from here, you're going to take your outside hand and rotate through the shoulders and chest and open up towards the ceiling. Okay, now you really want to try to drive your chest forward, open that chest up as much as you possibly can. This one is going to be a lot harder than when we bring it down and bring the inside hand up to the ceiling as well. You'll probably find that it's a little easier to rotate there than it is to the outside. Go ahead and bring that hand down. Step the foot back. Other foot comes up beside the hand. Grab it and pull it up if you need to. Or if you can step it up there, great. Outside hand up to the ceiling. Work on that rotation. We're really squeezing here between the shoulder blades. Bring that hand down. And other arm up. Good. Bring that down. And step back. Okay, go through 2 more of those, so you'd have 3 on each side, and that would be it for the runner's pose. Moving on next, we got our static stretches, starting with Piriformis. All right, back again. So, Piriformis up first. You're going to take 1 ankle, set it up on your knee. Boom, first step's off. Now this stretch is for deep inside your hip, so you should, go ahead and switch legs for me, Joe.
A good hip.
You're good hip, yeah. So you should feel this one deep down in your butt.
Already.
Of the leg you're stretching. Joe already feels it, he's got some flexibility issues, he's working on those. So what you want to do is really try to drive this knee down first. Okay, so you got that foot propped up on your thigh, you're driving this knee down. Now, sit up as straight as you possibly can, pull those shoulders back, and then hinging from your hips, try to hinge forward, okay? Now, what people will commonly do is they will roll forward and just shrug their head down. We don't want that. We want to sit up nice and tall and hinge. So hinge there, feel that stretch deep in the glutes. Now we want to hold this for about 30 seconds. That's the minimum we would want to do before we switch to the other side. You can go all the way up to 2 minutes if you want. If you find a stretch that feels nice and you want to hang in there that long, go for it.
I want to also add a little bit. Dorsiflexion in this movement also increases the stretch. So that means pull your toes in, knees down, toes are going to come towards your knee joint. Still work on that posture. May not have to go far. I don't.
It's not that flexible. All right, so that's it for Piriformis stretch. Up next, we are going to have a standing lateral IT stretch. All right, up next, we got the standing lateral stretch. This one's going to hit your lats, your IT band, glute medius, glute max, all the way down the side of your body. So we're going to start off in a standing position. You're going to have your feet shoulders width apart. You're going to have one hand down by your side, one hand up. From there, you want to tilt over with that hand that's up, and you're bringing that other hand down your leg, just trying to bend as far to the side as you can. Now, let's say you have some balance issues here. Easy fix. You just step your feet wide and do the same exact thing. Now, this is going to limit the stretch a little bit in your IT band, because now it's not stretched as far, but if it keeps you from falling over, great. Any points to that?
No, it's good. If you want a different transition, we can always rotate forward as well. So we're here, and then you can rotate your hips back and your torso forward, just for a little bit more of an active stretch within that.
Right, if you want to get a little deeper in there. So that's it for that. Stand up next, we have our pectoral stretch. So we're going to move to a doorway for that one. So up next, we have our pectoral stretch. You'll want to find any doorway or space that you can prop your two arms on each side. So Joe, go ahead and prop those arms up. You want to prop forearms and elbows on the doorway. From there, you simply lean through. Make sure you pull your shoulder blades back here. Try not to shrug up. Make sure you keep them down as much as possible. Simply hang out there for 30 seconds and let that chest stretch. If you want to get a little deeper in that stretch, you can lean into it and then also tilt forward. So this is going to also work the internal rotators of your shoulder. It's going to get really deep in there, but if you have any sort of shoulder impingement, just go very, very slow with this one. Take your time.
Also, I'd like to add that you can adjust your height with your elbows, which can help additional stretch serratus, pec major, and minor.
All those. Yep, there it goes. There's the up. All right, up next we got good mornings. So, this one is going to be mainly for your hamstrings. You want to try to keep your back as straight as you possibly can on this one. And this is a great way to practice your hip hinge, which is great for basically every single lower body movement that we do. So, what Joe's showing you here, you got your back super straight, okay? Lumbar's nice and straight, thoracic's nice and straight. We got our shoulder blades pulled back, and he's pushing his hips backwards towards the wall behind him to make sure he gets right back in here on the hamstrings. Maybe a little bit of glute too. So, now he started to round his back. We don't want that, okay? So really drive that chest out. If you find you're getting too low and you're starting to round your back, you can, of course, always come back up, as Joe just did, and then lean forward again. Ow. Ow. All right, up next we got our Soaz Stretch. This one is one of our hip flexors. Sitting throughout the day, driving in a car, everyone's hip flexors are notoriously tight, and that's something that we need to work on every single day. If you don't do any of these other stretches, make sure you hit your hip flexors. So Jojo, go ahead and bring your left foot forward, please. So if the left foot is forward, we're going to be stretching our right hip flexor. So what Joe wants to do here is brace through the abs as much as you possibly can, because you want to keep your hips in an anterior pelvic tilt and not have posterior. Wait, it's backwards. Yeah.
That's anterior, that's posterior.
That's anterior, that's posterior. So you want a posterior pelvic tilt. And then from there, you're going to take this front knee and drive it forward as far as you possibly can. So you can see his hip flexors here are starting to stretch. If you want to make this even deeper, you bring your shoulders back, bring your chest back, and try to stay as upright as possible with it. Now, for some people, this knee angle is too much. You can always step that front foot forward if it makes it more comfortable for your knee.
I personally prefer the extended push out, knee back, heel forward. Really push the pelvis towards this front heel. Arms straight up with a lateral trunk flexion.
So what Joe's doing now is in a more advanced version. You're going to get even deeper in that psoas and IT band stretch. So you get your regular hip flexor stretch going, and you just tilt that arm over. Now another way you can do that, if the tilt over is too much, go into that stretch for me again. Turn towards the leg that you have forward. So you get into your hip flexor stretch here, and Joe's just going to turn and look that way away from us. You can even take that arm and pull on that leg if need be. That's going to help get even deeper into that hip flexor. Up next, we have seated hamstring stretch. We're going to have two different versions of this. You're going to start off with your feet nice and close together. Sit up as straight as you can. Most important with this is keep your knees close to the ground. Hinge out as far as you can, trying to keep your back straight. Now, once you get to the point where you can no longer keep your back straight, it is okay to round and continue to reach out and tuck your head down as well. Now, this is going to be pretty tough for a lot of people. You may not get to your toes. You may be on your shins. That's okay. So Joe, go ahead and back up to the shins. Whatever you do, just relax your arms down, hang out in this stretch. Feel free to pull on your shins if you want, if you're having trouble staying forward. But don't hold your arms up. Okay, too many people hold their arms up. Joe's showing what that looks like. Hold their arms straight out. You're trying to reach there. You're not able to relax in that stretch. Up next, we got wide leg hamstring stretch. Very similar to the first one. It's just going to hit more of your inner hamstrings, which tend to get a lot tighter than our exterior hamstrings. Lateral hamstrings. Lateral.
Amazing flexibility about to be demonstrated.
So, for this one, you want to spread your feet as wide as you can comfortably. You shouldn't be feeling the stretch yet. You should only start to feel this stretch once you start to lean forward. So again, same cues as before. Have your knees nice and flat on the ground. Sit up as straight as you possibly can, and then hinge forward into that stretch. Joe struggles here a lot. But once you hit that hinge point and you've hinged as far as you can, it is okay to round your back and reach out with your hands. This is a really good one where you can just crawl your hands across the ground. You can also go hands wide and hold onto the feet. All right, for this next one, we have a static scorpion. So this one, you get to actually lay down. How nice. We get to take a little nap. So you're going to start off by pulling one knee into the chest as far as you can. Pull it in nice and tight. Okay? From here, you're going to take the opposite side arm. So Joe will take his right arm and pull that leg across to right arm, Joe. So he's going to take that right arm and pull that leg across to his right side. And keep your left arm on the ground. You're going to continue to pull. Let those hips rotate over as you're pulling. This is a great one for thoracic extension, getting those shoulder blades back, and just opening up your spine and core. So you can do the foot down version that Joe has going on there, or you can even continue just to pull the knee across and try to get that knee as close to the ground as you possibly can.
On the ankle, it allows you to get a little bit more of a rotation, and also it's going to hit that piriformis one more time.
All right, up next, we're going to have a little cat-camel. So we're nearing the end of our stretching. These are going to get back into more active and engaging type of movements. So cat-camel, you're going to start on all fours. It's important to have your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. Nice and flat across the back to start. So going into cat, you're going to take the low to mid part of your back and you're going to round it up towards the ceiling as high as you possibly can. You want to try to pull your belly button in on this one and really pull everything in and up. So you're going to hold that one while you exhale. And then when you go to inhale, you have to drop the back down, drive your chest through your hands, and try to create as much arch in your back the other way as possible. And you can even go as far as to raise your head up if you want and try to look up towards the ceiling. So up next we have bird dog. This one's going to get our core re-engaged after all that stretching. We want to do something a little active to get our core re-engaged to go about the rest of our day. So step one, start in that same tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, the most important part of this is to not let your back dip while you do this. We're going to take one arm and the opposite leg, and we're going to extend them out, and you're going to hold it. Okay, now you want to try to drive that heel up and point that toe as much as you can, but you don't want to let any dip happen right here. So brace your abs in, Joe. More. Get rid of this dip right here. There we go. So Joe had a little dip in his back. Brace the abs in. You're going to hold that for about 5 seconds, and then you go to the other side, raising the other arm and leg out. Boom. Now you can see Joe's got a little dip there in his back. If you're having problems with the dip, you can lower your leg down as well, and that will take some of the pressure off your back and allow you to engage those abs and keep tight. All right, that sums it up for our flexibility routine. Now you want to hold each of those for about 30 seconds each. You can go all the way up to 2 minutes if you want. That 30 seconds each should take you about 2 minutes. If you go up to or 10 minutes, sorry. 30 seconds each is 10 minutes, you all. You know, math. Now, if you go up to 2 minutes, you are going to create more length in your muscles. You will get more flexibility out of that, but it's also going to take you more time. So it just depends on how much time you have in your day to fit this in.
Absolutely, thanks Clark. And this is also a program that is simple, quick enough, like you said, around 10 minutes that you can do anytime. Upon waking up, when you go to bed, it's going to help for recovery, hip mobility, and lots of other things in the gym for sure. Should improve your life. Thank you.